Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here for a special Thanksgiving Khans of Tarkir Swiss draft. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope you have a nice holiday. Eat a lot of turkey and ham or whatever meat you want to eat on Thanksgiving, and your stuffing and potatoes and all that good stuff too. Okay, let's do uh, let's do a draft here. Alter the Brood, not interested. Uh, Maybe the Aerialist could be the strongest card. I prefer the 1 and 2 drops. I guess it doesn't feel exactly right first picking a Hate Blade. Um, no, it really doesn't. This is a pretty light pack. Nothing terribly exciting here. Riverwheel Aerialist might actually be the pick. I don't like first picking 6 drops though. Everybody knows it's the early drops that are most exciting. I'm okay with taking Mystic. I'm going to take the Mystic first pick. Kind of feel like taking something other than Mardu for this kind of special event. You know? You know? Okay. I mean, Soothsayer is a super good Sultai card. Wind Scout's good. Dead Drop's very good. Could I take Dead Drop and hope to wield a Soothsayer? I don't know. If anybody's Sultai, they're going to want this Soothsayer. This is just a really strong card. Really strong. Blocks up the entire ground, nets you a card, fills your graveyard for delve, does everything Sultai wants to do. Um, I'm pretty sure I'm going to take the Soothsayer. I could just take the Wind Scout, and then I can still play Jeskai. If I take the Soothsayer, it kind of, starts to marry me to Sultai. But this is definitely a more powerful card than Wind Scout for its clan. All right, I'm going to take the Soothsayer. I've convinced myself. There was a chance that it wheeled, but I just won it because I love that card. And I think we're going to try and make a Sultai deck work. All right, so now we can take a Dead Drop. I'm hoping I can still get a Treasure Cruise somewhere. This is uncommon, so there's a better chance, I feel like, that I could see a Treasure Cruise. Abomination's very good. Hooting Mandrills would be nice. But yeah, let's take the Dead Drop. Just get some sacrifice removal. All right, well, Bivouac currently does actually fix for us. I need to figure out what I think my base colors should likely be green-blue, and then splash the black. I just feel like that's probably going to work better for us. I'm a huge Grizzly fan, though. Do love me some Alpine Grizzly. I kind of want to take that. People here would probably take the Backwater, especially if Black's to splash. I could see the Backwater pick. But that being said, I love the Grizzly so much. You can still do black-green too, I guess, huh? Black-green splash blue. Both of those are options. I mean, Mystic gets a little bit worse on the splash, but it's still fine. I'm going to take the Alpine Grizzly. I know some of you might be wondering why, but it's because I just love the card. Just a huge fan. Let's start moving some stuff over here. Does it not even let me do that? Oh, that's weird. Ooh. Sultai Charm. I'd say that's a good sign. There's also a Bitter Revelation in here, Force Away, both of which are pretty good. But, yeah, I'm just gonna take the Charm. 7, 8, 9. Geez, Dead Drop's so expensive. All right, let's take the Sultai Charm here. Ooh, Soothsayer number 2. That's beautiful. Yes, there's also Thornwood Falls, but like I said, Soothsayer is so good for the Sultai deck. It's insane. Okay, so options now. Skuldkin, which we can't even use the ability for. Dragonscale Boon is a pretty reasonable card. I'm pretty comfortable taking that. It's also a Sandbar, which not an exciting 2-drop unless my base colors are green, blue, splash black. But I don't know yet if I'd rather be. I want to be green something. I know that. I would rather not be blue black base. I mean, it's possible that I could do that. It's not like it's out of the realm of reason, but I'm going to take the boon. All right, so do like the Crippling Chill. Set Adrift's a fine card when you're delving a lot, so I could see that. Dragon's Eye Savants is a nice way to buy some time. We don't currently have like a win con, but I mean those are usually easier to come by. Let's try for the green-blue base. I think we're very likely to get away with that. I think my pick's actually Crippling Chill, and you might be wondering why. Well, it draws me a card, it fills my graveyard, and it disables a big creature for 2 turns. So I think that's actually just exactly what I want. Tabling the Aerialist is actually a really great sign. Seek the Horizon's not bad with Delve either, but I'd rather have the awesome 6-drop. Just a great finisher. I don't think I'm likely to play any of these. So I think I'm just going to hate the Student. I'm just not going to play Adept. Adept, pretty much the only place I'd want to play him is with a Barrage of Boulders. Let's just take the Student, which is a fine 2-drop. There we go. Table to Treasure Cruise is insane. Happily taking that. That is huge. And we got a Backwater too? Jeez. This deck is like making itself. I've been watching a drafter who sets his lands that he takes to the side. I kind of like that. Force Away seems like an easy pickup here. It's more exciting than Sagu Archer. Even if you don't, if you get the Ferocious value, you're sitting really pretty since you even fill your graveyard. But even if you don't, not a big deal. It still fills your graveyard. But yes, if you can get Ferocious, it's much better. Especially for our deck. We already have, how many Delve cards? Just 2? Okay. Wow, Ghost Fireblade's good. I think we want the Murderous Cut. Let me see what else is in here. The Jungle Hollow, which we would play. Force Away Wield last time, so that's not a big deal. I do like Ghost Fireblade. I mean, it's a strong card, but Murderous Cut all the way, baby. Let's get that removal. Strong removal at that. Double Soothsayer actually makes me pretty happy. We just really need to establish a good stall plan at this point. Aerialist is a pretty fine win con. I wouldn't mind to have one or two more big dudes. Yeah, like Loxodon's an option. Throttle's pretty good removal. It's another 5-drop though, which is not thrilling. Suspension Field's very strong, but it's just clearly not the pick. Thornwood Falls is some nice fixing, but I think I'm taking the Loxodon here. 6/7 keeps us busy at 3, so it's something relatively early to do. And it's a big old win con. Nothing else terribly exciting in here. Throttle and Loxodon I think are just the main 2 options. And I kind of like the Loxodon here. After we have a good amount of removal at the moment. Geez, Herald of Anafenza. Card's really good. I think we're just taking Scavenger. There is a Smoke Teller, which is a fine 2-drop, but I like the Scavenger. All right. Thornwood Falls is fixing we could use. Mandrills is yet another Delve card. Throttle is pretty good, but it's another 5-drop. I mean, Water Whirl's strong too. Bounce 2 dudes can be pretty strong. Even if you end of their turn bounce their biggest guy and bounce your Soothsayer to get your, that's actually not that bad. But I don't know if I want it. I only have 7 creatures. I really don't mind taking Mandrills. I don't have a lot of ways to fill early though. It comes down to the Soothsayer. This deck probably could run a banner. I'm going to take the Thornwood Falls because it's going to help our mana base. There were some other good cards in there, but I don't mind taking the land there since we're kind of doing good on playables at the moment. Getting my mana right should help. Savage Punch is good with the Grizzly. Crippling Chill number 2, I'm not opposed to that. Card draw makes our spells cheaper. It's very good. Archer's Parapet is actually, I think actually might be what I want. because we already have a lot of good late game stuff, and this really does clog up the board nicely. Buys us time. It actually is even good with Mystic, because it's like while you're holding down the fort, you can just get in. I kind of like that. I like the Crippling Chill here too, but we're kind of lacking early plays. I'm going to take the Parapet. All right, I think I'm just going to slam Grizzly number 2. Actually, I guess there's a Wind Scout. Let me think about this. I like Evasion more. We currently have Force Away, Sultai Charm, Crippling Chill, Boon, Murderous Cut, Treasure. I mean, we have a lot of spells to support the Wind Scout. I feel like our deck is... I'm trying to think. I kind of feel like our deck more wants stuff that can trade or... You know what I mean? Trade early. But it is tough to deny the flying of Wind Scout. Evasion is good, especially if you already have the ground locked up. We still have another pack. I guess I'll take the flyer. It's tough to deny a flyer that gets bigger. Okay. So, I mean, Dreadmaw is actually playable. It's decent with the Soothsayers. But it's another 5-drop. I don't mind taking a second Force Away. Stubborn Denial is an actual card, believe it or not. There is a banner in here too. I would say if any archetype would want to play a banner, it's likely Sultai, since the banner, when you sack it, fills your graveyard too. Plus, getting to Soothsayers on turn 4 is pretty nice. But I'm going to take the second Force Away. Alright, there's a Bitter Revelation. There's a Long Shot Squad. I don't want the Singing Bellstrike. Singing Bellstrike's actually just terrible all around for... Well, you already know I don't like this card, but in addition to that, in Sultai, it's really bad because it stays on the board, so it doesn't even help your delve plan. But Bitter Revelation, on the other hand, just seems to fit our curve perfectly. We are short on creatures, so I could see the argument for like a Long Shot Squad, but I'm hoping we can kind of fix that in pack 3. Bitter Revelation just seems too perfect to pass up here. Force Away number 3. That's a lot of Force Aways. I mean, I'm probably okay with that. But how many actual ways to Ferocious do we have? We've got Grizzly, Loxodon. Wind Scout doesn't do it unless we've already cast another spell. Aerialist. That's not that many. There's really not a lot of ways to turn Ferocious on in this deck. We already have Revelation, so I don't feel like I need the Weave Fate. I guess I just take Force Away then. That's a lot of Force Aways. That is a lot of Force Aways. Taigon Scheming's actual playable card in here, but I think I'd rather have the Thornwood Fall since it's a land fixer that actually helps. Okay, we can take the Smoke Teller pretty easily here. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Otherwise, it's an Adept or Skuldkin, neither of which are exciting. All right, I'll take a Scheming here. There's a chance we play it, but not a super good one. All right, Barrage of Boulders can beat people up, so I'll take that. Cancel is playable. I'll take it. So far, looking pretty good. A little short on creatures, but our game plan is pretty solid. Got quite a few stall cards. I do feel like we have a ridiculous amount of Force Aways, so probably don't need to play that many, but we'll see. I mean, it's a fine card. I think the weakest card we've got right now is probably the Scheming, but like I said, I mean, Scheming is playable, especially in a deck like this that has, how many, we've got 4 Delve cards. Alright, well, we opened a Flooded Strand. I gotta see if that's worth anything. Alright, Flooded Strand is worth a ridiculous amount. It's worth like 8 tickets. Does anybody else know that? That's insane. Thankfully, we're not passing anything too crazy. We are passing a Secret Plans, which actually isn't even that good in here. Currently only have 2 Morph, which is kind of surprising. Injury, typically fine, but black's like our lightest color, so it's less good. And same argument for right for that reason. Hooting Mandrills would be a fine pick, but excuse me. It turns out we're just not passing anything of substance. And actually, the nice thing about Flooded Strand is I'm absolutely playing it because in a Delve deck, it's worth it, I would say, to deck thin and fill your yard. Geez, Seeker of the Way and Armament Core. Damn. Those guys are good. Those guys are real good. Just not on color. Here's a Shambling Attendance. Could take that. Attendants are good. There's also Flock, which isn't great, but could also take the Throttle. This is our 23rd card already? Jeez. Well, attendance is fine. Throttle is fine. We need creatures, so I think I am going to go the creature route. I don't mind taking attendance here. I'm trying to think of my chance of wheeling them. I'm not sure. I mean, there's a decent argument for Flock, but I'm going to take the attendance. Jeez. Savage Knuckleblade? That's crazy. I think we take Wind Scout number 2, and I likely cut... I think I might play the Scheming, actually, now that I've got enough of high-end Delve cards. There's enough premium on those. I actually really like Boon here if I take the Wind Scout. Boon just gets ridiculous. Turns these guys into really fast killers. I'm going to cut the Cancel, I think, since I'm kind of busy with removal rather than counter spells in this deck. And I would like to have a reasonable creature count of some sort. So let's take the Wind Scout. They don't block very well. That is the issue. There's an Ascendancy. Yeah, I think it's tough to deny Ascendancy in this deck. We actually have enough stuff that I want to sort of build into. Bloodsucker is actually very reasonable in here too, but I guess not as much as I'd like. So there's also another Parapet, which would be fine. I'm trying to think, if I take the Parapet, what are the chances I wheel the Ascendancy? Ascendancy is a pretty specific card. Keep that in mind. And I really wouldn't mind having another Parapet, but I think I am just going to take the Ascendancy. I don't want to miss it. And I have to cut another card if I'm going to play that. Well, I can easily run that over the Scheming, now that I think about it. They're playing pretty similar roles. Okay, we can take the Backwater here since we already pretty much... This is a 17 land deck. I think I'd rather play 18 lands since we have all this high-end stuff. And I've got actual card draw. Yeah, I have a lot of card draw. This is easily an 18 land deck. I think I'd take Backwater because I've already got like my deck pretty much made up. Otherwise, it's another Mystic, which is fine, but not terribly exciting. I'm just going to take the Backwater. Okay, Wind Scout number 3 seems like it's totally fine. What am I cutting for that? Certainly not something early, but everything late looks so good. And I already have to make a cut? This is tough. I've got so many good cards in here. I kind of don't want to cut any 2-drops because we are susceptible to aggro. That's like really where I see the one hole in our game would be aggro because our late game plan is so phenomenal, which is probably why I shouldn't be valuing the Wind Scouts as highly in this deck because you want stuff that's defensive because our deck does so good late. Jeez. Jeskai Elder? That's such a huge pickup here. And a Villainous Wealth? What is it, Christmas? No, it's Thanksgiving. Let's take the Villainous Wealth. Yeah, let's take the Villainous Wealth. What else do you want me to say? Injury's fine, I guess. At the very least, it fills for your Delve, so there is that. We have so many playables, I don't know what to do. I don't think I'm playing 3 Force Aways anymore. Alright, I could take the Flock. I think I will, actually, because there is an argument for the Disdainful Stroke, but I kind of want another big blocker like Parapet in this deck. Could also just take the Smoke Teller. I mean, Flock is going to block for us better and buy us time, presumably better. But Smoke Teller helps us beat down to... I'm going to take the Flock. I don't know if it's right. Oh, I mixed up my deck again. Alright, we'll take the Stubborn Denial for sideboard. I think that's pretty easy. Don't really need any of these. Archive's actually kind of interesting. Sagu Archer, not going to play the banner. Someone can play Lens of Clarity if they want. Alright. So, we need to make a lot of cuts. My deck's all messed up now. Here's our 2 drops. Here's our 3 drops. $28 cards. Jeez. How's our fixing looking? Double backwater, flooded strand, which isn't fixing, but it's delve fuel, so certainly worth playing. And then the Thornwood Falls actually do help us as well. So this deck, I mean, this deck's phenomenal. We have the best problem you can have, which is we have way too many playables. So we get to really sort of get to cherry, handpick, whatever you want to call it, this deck out in a really nice way. Triple Force Away seems excessive. I should probably just cut cards that I'm on the fence about. So I guess I'm on the fence about Triple Force Away. That seems a bit excessive, as I said. So even 2 is, let's separate stuff here. So our creatures look great. Creatures look really nice. We probably have enough finishers in Triple Wind Scout, River Wheel, Sultai Scavenger. Yeah, what do we cut? This is tough. Double Force Away, Crippling Chill. We're probably still excessive on that front. Crippling Chill is better for this deck than Force Away is, but they're both really good. I mean, obviously I don't like cutting early stuff, but it just seems correct. I'm going to cut one more Force Away. Debating cutting the Smoke Teller since it's like the most underwhelming creature in here. I could see cutting the Mystic. We already have the Triple Wind Scout. This is kind of, the Mystic's kind of a big, what I don't like about Mystic is it's kind of a big mana investment to get the unblockable, whereas Wind Scout I just pay 3 and I've got my attacker. With Mystic, I have to pay my 3 and then I have to pay another 3 before I can really start getting in with him. So I think I actually don't want Mystic in here because I feel like I'm really busy with my mana in this deck. If you look how many things I've got going on. I'm like constantly drawing cards, playing dudes, drawing more cards, filling the yard, eventually getting a Villainous Wealth. We've got such a good potential stall plan. I'm debating cutting the Injury because it's on our splash color. But it really is tough to deny how good Debilitating Injury is. Like I said, though, it's pretty bad on the splash. It's certainly not great on the splash. And considering we only got 2 pieces of black fixing, we're probably going to end up running, I would say, 3 to 4 swamps to make it 5 or 6 sources to get in the deck. Probably 6, actually. There's more black than I would have liked. So 6 sources of black is still not enough to make me confidently say we can play a Debilitating Injury on turn 2 or 3 when we need it. I still need to make 2 more cuts if I'm running 18 lands, which I do want to. We've got Bitter Revelation. We have double Soothsayer. It's much less of a chance of getting flooded with card draw like that. And Sultai Charm even kind of draws. I mean, Ascendancy. There's like just infinite ways to get rid of flood. Really, it's just we don't want to get mana screwed, so it's absolutely an 18 land deck. Jeez. As good as Boone is with Wind Scout, I think I'm going to cut it. I feel like I've got everything else kind of going on. It is a good combat trick, I know, but I don't know what to say. I'd rather have cards that either kill straight up or creatures that can block early, buy us time. Wind Scouts are a bit of a liability in here. Just in case we're getting aggroed down, Wind Scout can kind of be an issue, but we have so much evasion, which is nice. I still like Flock in here quite a bit, so we really just need to make one more cut. Elder is such a phenomenal card in this deck. I would argue Elder is better in Sultai than it is in Jeskai, which is what its mechanic is for. So it's actually better for another guild in this set, which is funny, just because the draw discard is so good for Delve Fuel. Increase your card quality while simultaneously making your spells cheaper. All right, last cut. I'm really close to cutting Smoke Teller since it's, to me, the weakest card in the deck, but it does trade early, which is really nice. And we only have 4 things that are 2 mana or less, which is not much, admittedly. I just don't want to get aggroed out. See, the problem is if I don't do anything until turn 3, and my turn 3 is a Wind Scout, it's much less exciting. It's kind of dangerous against certain decks that just jam 1, 2, 3 drops. So I think the safest play is to cut something late. I'm not going to cut any of this. I don't think I'm cutting any of this. I could cut a Wind Scout. I know, it doesn't seem right, does it? Cutting a Wind Scout over a Smoke Teller just seems wrong, but Smoke Teller on turn 2 is really relevant. It's really relevant. It's probably not relevant enough, though. Everything's so good in here. It's really difficult. I guess I'll cut the Smoke Teller. I'm not thrilled about it. We are susceptible to aggro, but I guess I don't know what to say about it. I could actually cut one of the Wind Scouts for an Archer, and the only reason being because it's got 5 toughness, so it blocks better, but I probably don't like that all that much. I guess we just run it like this. So let's get our manas good. We've only got a few minutes here. So we'll combine. We're mostly blue. We actually have way more black than I realized. Wait, our lightest color's green? How did I not realize that? That's surprising. All right, well, I guess we're a blue-black deck, which is kind of what I was trying to avoid. How did I not notice that during the draft? All right, well, it's not super important. We already have 5 sources of blue, which is actually really good. So I probably want... How many sources green? I don't need that many. I don't need that much green. I can probably get away with 6 sources green. So I already have 2. It's kind of funny. Even though I was building my mana base for black, it worked just as well for fixing for green. So this is 5 sources green. This is probably too much blue. I can go up to 6 sources green. What is it? 9 sources blue. Let me count here. This is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sources blue. 5, 6, 7 sources black. I don't like that as much. And then 6 sources green. I can go. I'm not super dependent on blue. So why don't we cut 1 island? We'll run 1 more swamp. And then I think we're 8, 8, 6, which is actually pretty good. I believe this is 8 sources black, 8 sources blue, 8 sources blue, 6 sources green. Yeah, I think this is fine. This is a good mana base. I feel comfortable with that. This is more of a mix of colors than I'm used to. But yes, I do like this deck. Very 3-drop heavy, admittedly. But I like it. I do like this deck. I think it looks good. All right, let's try it. I just realized Parapet's much worse than the injury. I'm changing that. Parapet on the splash color, not as good. Debilitating injury, straight up removal that fills our yard, much better.